Hello, everyone. Welcome to Joe Consume Cinema. I'm your host, Max Cady. Are you my friend? And today we have another installment in Joe Revisit series with the 1991 film Cape Fear. So I have seen the original with Robert Meacham and Gregory Peck. Very good film, nothing bad to say about that. It's damn good if you haven't seen it. I personally prefer this iteration, the 1991 version, more so than its predecessor personally. I just love the performances by Nick Nolte and especially Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro's performance as Max Cady is the heart and soul of the film, and yeah, it's hard to imagine me caring as much about this movie as I do without, his iconic performance in the film. I'd say I'm a sucker for a sympathetic villain, and Max Cady is not that at all. He is a monster through and through. Robert De Niro's performance as Max Cady shows just how far his range really extends. He can play the hero, he can play the villain, and he can also play just a purely unsympathetic monster like Max Cady. So yeah, I haven't seen this one in a long time, so it's going to be good to rewatch this one and also get it up on the channel. But before I begin, please remember to blank, blank, and blank. Channel's doing awesome right now. We are on the march to 5,000, which is great. That's really cool to see, channel growth like that. It's really awesome, and I'm just really proud of it. I have also launched the Joe Consume Cinema Patreon. Every member of my Patreon gets a guaranteed movie request. I have the first season of The Penguin, the first season of Mr. Robot, and the second season of The Squid Game. I am up to season 2, episode 8 as far as Mr. Robot reactions are concerned over up on the Patreon. I think that's well worth $2 per month right there, but even if money's tight, I understand. You could always join as a free member too. That would still help me out and, make the metric look a little bit better. But always, any support is always much appreciated. So if you can't do any of that, like, comment, all helps. And yeah, with that, let's just get right to the movie. Nice little bird of prey feature. It's pretty clever imagery. It also has one of the most iconic soundtracks, which I may have to mute, it's going to depend, but it's so distinct. You hear that, you know exactly what movie we're dealing with, no hesitation. It's also cool how Robert Meacham and Gregory Peck both have small roles in this. They played the two main characters in the 1960s version. It's a nice little homage to those two and their performances there. Also, just De Niro's physical dedication to a role is just insanely cool.
Okay, Katie, moment you've been waiting for. What about your books?
Already read them.
Really iconic shot right here.
This is smoke. Excuse me.
He starts early, doesn't waste any time. He just got out and already he's starting in on it.
It's taken care of.
Taking care of? Who?
There.
He appears and disappears almost at will.
We should stop doing this for a while.
Doing what? Why, does your wife mind?
Well, my wife doesn't even know you exist, which most certainly is for the best.
I let you in.
Sure you did.
Yeah.
Hey,
Free as a bird, apparently. You go everywhere you want with whomever. That much freedom could maybe get a fellow into trouble. What do you think? Max Cady. You look the same. Me, I dropped a pound every year in my sentence.
Atlanta, 77.
You got it, July. This little old cigar is my only vice. Because I need a vice in the joint to remind me I was human. I'm thinking of settling right down here in New Essex, Counselor.
Have you been following me?
Well, it's a small town. Everywhere you turn, I guess we're gonna run into each other. You're gonna learn our loss.
What?
He knows right away that he's cheating on his wife, and he's going to use that information as best he can.
Somebody's out there.
I can talk to him, sir.
You know him?
Starts with simple harassment, intimidation.
All right, I'm gonna make you learn about laws. Something like that. Oh, he's from the hills, Pentecostal crackers, you know.
What was he in prison for?
I think it was battery.
You think it was battery?
It wasn't battery.
I really don't remember.
He does remember. It was rape.
Just there's some creep around, and if you see him again, call the cops and then call me. Would you really feel more secure with a loaded gun in the house?
Well, we'd probably end up using it on each other.
He's not gonna do anything. He just got out of prison. He doesn't want to go right back. He says to me, "You're gonna learn about loss."
That'd hardly qualify under the terrorist threat statutes.
Last night, there he was. He was behind our house.
Ah, tempted B&E.
Well, no, not exactly. I'm sitting on a wall that bounds our property.
It's not even trespassing, Sam. I mean, come on.
In this case, I had a report on the victim.
It's a rape case.
That's right. Rape and aggravated sexual battery. Came back that she was promiscuous. I buried it.
Anybody else know about this?
No. I buried it. I mean, I didn't show it to the client. I didn't show it to the prosecution. You'd seen what this guy had done to this girl. I mean, if it was your own daughter, Tom, yeah, I mean...
Buried the report.
But I don't see how he could know that. I mean, he was illiterate. I mean, I had to read everything to him.
He educated himself inside. That's all he did was obsess over the case and him.
They're great at that age, ain't they?
I realize that you suffer. I mean, I understand your problem.
I learned to read during my stretch. Did you know that after I discharged you, I acted as my own attorney?
How much money do you want?
Money? You ever been a woman?
What?
A woman. Some fat, hairy, ugly hillbilly's wet dream. Well, what shall be my compensation, sir, for being held down, sodomized by 4 white guys? Let's say 20,000. Let's say 30,000. Let's say, I tell you what, let's say 50,000. 50,000 to 14 years. 14 years times 365 days is about, I'll say about 5,000 days. Now you divide that by 50,000, that's like $10 a day. That's not even minimum wage. I don't think you really understand what we're talking about here. Gotta get. Yeah, I'm late for another appointment.
He just stopped. He had this kind of surprised look.
Katie had to get rid of the dog because it's an early warning system for when he's, around the house or gets close.
He was poisoned.
Poison? What kind of a poison?
I don't know.
Jesus, Lee, I told you not to let him out.
I didn't let him out!
Well, then how?
I didn't let him out!
Richard Meacham.
I got so many ways on the books to lean on an undesirable. One-way mirror, Mr. Bowden. He doesn't know you're here.
Keep the arms out straight.
I don't know whether to look at him or read him.
Everything's in order. There's no guns or any other weapons.
Not a cop. I don't know exactly how he did it. I just know that he did it, somehow.
That's not good enough, Mr. Bowden.
Son of a bitch.
What?
He's staring at you. What the hell are you doing?
Hard as a firecracker on the 4th of July.
You son of a bitch!
What's wrong? Might be broke.
It might be broke.
You have no right to be pushing me around like that. I was just watching a parade. I wasn't pranking on nobody. What's so upset about? You like that, I'll sue you.
Who is that?
Oh, that's no. Look.
Who was it?
No, come on.
I had no business getting stuck on a guy who was married.
You certainly did not.
He systematically goes after every point of vulnerability.
You hurt you right there. How'd that feel?
Scandal. He's a rough one.
How does this feel?
Oh, God. Just a fucking animal.
Katie raped another girl.
Rape. But you said it was battery.
Sam.
Oh, my God.
Stood me up at the club the other day. I felt like I was gonna show you. I guess I really showed you.
This guy, Katie, he's done this kind of thing before. Unless you testify, and we take him to court.
No.
And press charges.
No.
And testify.
No. Sam, I know how it works. I see it every day. Only this time I'm on the other side. I don't want to explain why I was in a bar and how much I had to drink and what I was wearing and up by the people I work with, up by the guys I see cross-examining the people on the stand. They'll even ask about you.
I don't care about that.
Well, I care about that.
It's a brutal situation to be in.
File a restraining order, I already did.
Just think of this fella Katie as a tagger. The trick is to get him out of the brush.
What are you suggesting, Lieutenant? That I use my family as bait? And then what? Blow his head off? Also, I believe that he's able to slip into the house and out undetected. Although, is he out? I can't tell. I mean, why can't anybody do anything for me? What good are cops and laws?
The system is set up to handle generalized problems like burglary and robbery. Some lone creep out there targets you for some obscure reason. The system's slow and skeptical. It's pathetic, even.
Kursick deals with these types for a living. I mean, he looked like he was going to enjoy it. Run.
There's another inmate working in there with him. He was an obstinate SOB. Hated Katie's cigar smoking. He's always bitching and moaning about it. One day they found him with his neck broke, his tongue bit off. They never could place Katie near the scene of the accident, if you want to call it that.
I thought we were relaxed now.
I'm really gonna miss you, though.
Right. Excuse me, Lori. You know, that sounds real good.
Well, I just don't know what I hate more. That insipid tone or your stupid sophomore infidelities. That's why that psychopath chose her, right?
Yes, that's why he chose her. I keep feeling that there's some animal out there stalking us. I think he wants to hurt us in the worst way.
You're a little scared, aren't you? Somebody finally got to you.
I beat and raped her because he knew that she wouldn't testify, that she wouldn't press charges. Because she knows the system. She knows that she'd be on trial.
This is a great aspect of the film, how it openly talks about how women are treated even when they're rape victims. Even with the case clear as day, they still have to go through a level of humiliation and reliving the event that no woman would ever want to do. Despite the fact that they're the victim, they get put on trial. Every aspect of their life is examined under a microscope. And it's so bad that someone that has experience on the other side, as a law clerk, knows what it's like and doesn't even want to go through with it.
I don't want to see you, I don't want to hear you, and I don't want to smell you. Now leave.
Are you my friend?
No, I'm not your friend.
If you're not my friend, you're planning my comings and goings, I'd call that presumptuous. In fact, I'd call it downright rude.
You white trash piece of shit.
Ooh, you're really shaking me up. I'm shivering all over. I could get upset. Things could get out of hand. If I stay here, what you gonna do?
I don't give a rat's ass about your rights.
What you gonna do, arrest me? You a cop, or were you a cop? Or were you not good enough to remain on the force? Because you know what, that's the feeling I'm getting here.
He reads people very well.
I just found it. I thought you might need it back.
Our dog is, he passed away.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah.
Closing my eyes, I can picture him. Big, friendly, shaggy, sleep at your feet, keeping you company while you're trying to finish up those pesky little sketches.
Well, you're Max Cady, aren't you? You are just repulsive.
I understand.
Yeah.
I'm not your type. Didn't have to be that way for either of us if your husband hadn't betrayed us both.
Someone's on the phone. Danny! Don't come out here!
There's men that can be hired by me to do a little job on Katie, a little hospital job.
I'm a lawyer, right? We agreed that I'm a lawyer?
Yeah.
You know, maybe 2,000 years ago, we'd have taken this guy out and stoned him to death. I can't operate outside the law.
Is your new teacher calling?
From English or drama?
Drama.
The anger that you feel that your mom and dad won't let you just grow up and be yourself, be a woman. Go with it. Don't suppress or deny it. Use it in your life and your work.
Okay. I mean, I'll have to think about all that.
And remember, Danielle, you can use all those fears to draw upon and learn. Well, you can trust in me, because I'm the do-right man. Okay, night now.
Good night. You can't smoke grass in school.
Privilege of the profession. It's okay.
Temptation, willingness to break the rules. He's trying to establish that he's cool and different so that she'll open up to him and, feed him information that he can use against her dad.
You read his trilogy? Plexus, Nexus, and Sexus?
No.
You haven't read that?
No. Wait a second. You're not the, drama teacher, are you?
Maybe I'm the big bad wolf.
So you're that guy that's been hanging around the house? You're the one that killed my mom's dog?
Your mom's dog was killed?
Yeah.
I didn't even know anything about that. That's a shame.
Why do you hate my father?
I don't hate him at all. Oh, no. I pray for him. I'm here to help him. I mean, we all make mistakes, Danielle. Every man, Every man has to go through hell to reach his paradise.
Preying on her innocence, naivete, also the fact that she's coming of age and starting to become curious about sexuality and that type of stuff. And here comes this guy who's, for lack of a better term, tall, dark, and handsome, bit mysterious. He's different than anyone she's ever met before, so it's very unique and interesting. Nothing like this has ever happened to her before, so she's kind of just overwhelmed by the moment of it, and he's, exploiting it masterfully. That might be the most disturbing scene in the fucking film.
Lee, she found some marijuana in one of Danny's school books. Now, we don't know if Kitty gave it to her or exactly what happened to her. She's scared and she won't talk about it. I want to hire those 3 guys. If you don't leave my family alone, and if you don't get out of here, you're going to be hurting like you never dreamed.
Could you repeat that?
I said, if you don't get out of here, you're going to be hurting like you never dreamed.
A threat.
Yeah?
Still think you're better than me?
No, I don't think I'm better than you. That's not the goddamn point.
Good, because if you're not better than me, then I can have what you have. I'm going to teach you the meaning of commitment. 14 years ago, I was forced to make a commitment to an 8x9 cell, and now you're going to be forced to make a commitment.
There will never be any connection between you and Max Cady. Did he touch you? Then wipe that smile off your face. I'm asking you, did he touch you? No, I'm sorry.
Counselor? Counselor? Is that you? Come out, wherever you are. You think a couple of whacks to my good old boy Gut's gonna get me down? It's gonna take a hell of a lot more than that, Counselor, to prove you're better than me. I am like God, and God like me. I am as large as God. He is as small as I. He cannot above me, nor I beneath him be. Silesia, 17th century. Could you be there? I wonder if you're here.
Great acting.
Mr. Cady retained my services as of yesterday.
He what?
Mr. Cady called this morning, so I'm sure he'll fill me in.
But wait a minute, Lee. Now, look, this man is a psychotic. He's a...
Anyway, it appears I'll be seeing you at that hearing after all.
Gregory Peck.
Repeat that? I said, if you don't leave my family alone, and if you don't get out of here, you're gonna be hurting like you never dreamed.
Mr. Bowden made good on his heinous and cowardly threat. Petitioned the ABA for his disbarment.
Yeah, they try to set a trap for him. So far, Cady has manipulated the situation perfectly.
So how'd you go at the airport?
Well, we did our thing, but we don't know if he saw us. We don't even know if he's there.
Well, set the trap and we'll see. Can't sleep, huh, Miss Graziella?
Yeah, it's hot.
Yeah, that was the one weakness in their plan. Maid coming and going.
Denny, don't look.
Oh my God,
Denny, don't look. It's the piano.
Oh, God.
Son of a bitch!
Should have called the cops immediately. Instead, slips in the blood, grabs the murder weapon, grabs the gun, and oh my god. Now they have no choice but to run now.
I know how this looks. I know it. You're not supposed to flee a murder scene. You find Max Cady, and we'll come back.
So the thing about Cape Fear, even though, the name suggests not a pleasant place, traditionally for this family, it's always been a rather relaxing vacation spot that they would go on. They take their boat, have a really good time. I mean, imagine the discipline to just hold on for hours underneath a moving vehicle. Look at him. He's all beaten up from it. Stones and rocks getting kicked into him.
I'll go check the anchor.
Wait, Dad, don't go out.
No, Dad. Now, everything is okay, all right?
Yeah, we're on the river now, baby.
Just a squall kicking up.
Choking him out.
Evening, ladies. This gun. Is it this gun?
Where is he?
Where's Sexus?
Back at the house.
Were you a good girl?
I was. I need to follow me here.
Are you offering me something hot? I spent 14 years in an 8x9 cell surrounded by people who were less than human. My mission in that time was to become more than human. Granddaddy used to handle snakes in church. Granny drank strychnine. I guess you could say I had a leg up, genetically speaking.
Katie, listen to me. This is between you and me. Leave them out of it.
This is my night, counselor. Don't you step on my night.
Stop! Stop! I can understand. And I can share this with you. I want you to do it just with me. Not with her.
Some of this stuff is really hard to watch, man. It's really good acting. It's just so disgusting at times. She's just trying to protect her daughter. Being set on fire don't even stop him.
The people called Samuel J. Bowden. Was a prior sexual history ever prepared in connection with my defense?
She was promiscuous. It said that she had 3 different lovers in 1 month.
At least 3! At least 3!
Because I know he brutally raped her and he beat her.
Talk to me! I'm staying here!
Just because she was promiscuous didn't give you the right to rape her. And you bragged to me that you beat 2 prior aggravated rapes. You were a menace.
You are my lawyer! I'm Virgil Counselor, and I'm guiding you through the gates of hell. We are now in the 9th circle, the circle of traitors. I sent you to the 9th circle of hell. Lost of freedom, loss of humanity. Both of you take off your clothes. Down on your knees. Down. No. Down on your knees. No. Take off your clothes. Get down on your knees.
Speaking in tongues, said he lived in the hills and his people handled snakes. Honestly, scarier than Jason.
Fear, I suppose. That to remember his name or what he did would mean letting him into our dreams.
Okay, took some time just to gather my thoughts. So that was Cape Fear. Again, been a long time since I've seen it, but it really is an amazing film. Just iconic performances. Robert De Niro as Max Cady, amazing villain. Just a absolute predator before he even goes inside. There's that scene where they're talking at the end about the case. Nick Nolte's character, Sam, talks about how he was bragging to him that he beat 2 other previous sexual assault cases before this rape trial came up. He was a monster before he even went inside, but having gone through that experience, the worst thing imaginable that could have happened. He survived the inside because he was just in a constant state of fighting for his life. He talked about being raped multiple times in jail. All of his worst instincts get honed on the inside. He's living in a place that's as close as you can get to hell on earth, and it makes him even worse than he already was before. It toughens him up. It makes him educate himself. He's talking about before he went inside, he could barely even read. He had to have everything read to him during the case. You have nothing but time on the inside, so one of the things he did was taught himself how to read and then started reading law books. Got to the point where he was defending himself. That's how he figured out that, there was this file on the victim about how she was promiscuous, and if they had used that could have saved him, 14 years attacking the victim. So one of the things that this film does that's really well done, and I like that it does this, it showcases just how, screwed up the system is, to the point where even someone where it's a clear-cut cold case of sexual assault, rape, they don't want to go through the process of being cross-examined, having every little detail of, what they were wearing, how many sexual partners have they had in the recent past, just having their entire life dug through in the process of, convicting a rapist, a serial sexual assaulter. Even when the evidence is overwhelming, they still get to cross-examine the victim. And that's one of the good aspects of this film. That one character, the law clerk that was having the affair with Sam, she knows the system. She knows, what happens to these people when they have to take the stand. And it's a nightmare experience because you essentially have to relive the rape, relive the sexual assault, and also just have every aspect of you shredded in front of people and judged. And yeah, they just don't want to go through that. So it's one of the reasons why people are so hesitant to come forward, even when, the evidence is so overwhelming, like it was Batgirl. Nick Nolte does a really good job in this. So does Jessica Lange as Lee, and Juliette Lewis, who plays Danielle. They both did a really good job. Parts of the film are really difficult to watch even now. The parts where Katie is, going to her school and pretending to be the drama teacher and, touching her face and, the thumb in the mouth and then, kissing on the lips like an adult kiss of a 15-year-old girl. And then the scene at the end where he's talking to them about the stuff he's going to do to them. And it's really difficult to watch. Even now, even though I've seen it, multiple times before, it's just really disturbing. The acting is amazing, don't get me wrong. It's just the subject matter that's really, really tough. Obviously, Scorsese is a genius. I've said that plenty of times, but really, the way that this film is shot, the choices that he makes are just great. There's a bunch of iconic scenes throughout the movie. One of my favorites has to be they're in the movie theater and, he's laughing hysterically, smoking his cigar, and just a silhouette of him in front of the screen. Another great one is when he first starts harassing them and he goes to the house and it's like right before the 4th of July, so the fireworks are going off like crazy. He's lounging on like the stone wall or whatever it is, just having the time of his life. Also the scene where he gets beaten up and then, comes back. So obviously, I would say Robert De Niro has the best overall performance because there's a lot of preparation in just becoming this character, the physical discipline that's displayed throughout the movie. He gets painted as a method actor, but all that really means to me is he's someone that does everything that can be realistically asked of a human being in order to become that part. And it's worked really well for him. He's had an amazing career. This was filmed in 1991, so he was like 48 at this point, and still could do this, and it's really, really impressive. But yeah, he truly embodied the character of Max Cady, just a predator turned full-on monster throughout the film. Like, he has these genetic gifts, ridiculously high tolerance for pain. He was bragging about it when he was holding the flare, and as it's like literally the chemicals burning through his hand, and he's not even reacting to it. He talked about how his great-granddad was a snake handler, so constant exposure to venom, and his grandmother used to drink strychnine, so he has like this built-in poison defense, like immunity. His time inside makes him obsess over Sam Bowden getting his revenge against him. He just goes to work disciplining both his mind and his body in order to, finally get this opportunity, his chance at revenge. It was cool seeing the cameos by Robert Meacham and also Gregory Peck. Those two played the main characters in the original film, Max Cady and Sam Bowden, so it was cool to see, them show up, a nice little homage to their performances in the original film. Those two are great legendary actors in their own right, too. Also, just the soundtrack of the movie is very distinct. Like, if you were ever to hear this playing, you would know immediately what film it's from. We're coming up on the end of, the Robert De Niro kick, where we still got a few more big ones to go that I've been saving purposefully. Again, just watching his performance as Max Cady in this film just shows the kind of range and overall dedication that he puts into the making of his movies, and how he really embodies the character. Even someone as despicable as Max Cady, who again, just a real monster even before he went inside, and obviously much more so after 14 years of him just dedicating his mind and body towards this ultimate goal of revenge. But yeah, this is a great horror film. Very iconic. Probably one of De Niro and Scorsese's most famous movies, honestly. Difficult to watch at times, but again, just the subject matter and nature of, what's being talked about and what we're seeing. But excellent performances overall, great story. Inspired a lot of parodies. One of the things I remember growing up as a kid was I was a big fan of The Simpsons, and one of the things that I remember most from my childhood was Sideshow Bob and his episode specifically where they parody Cape Fear. They turned everything into this comedic element where he's trying to get revenge against Bart for putting him in prison. That's pretty much all I got with this one. So as always, thanks for watching, and peace.